What's up, guys? So today on FreePour, we're going to be checking out the Ghost Ice system. This is a clear block ice freezing system. I know that sounds like a total mouthful. A clear block freezing ice system. A clear block ice system. Okay.
Clear block.
The Ghost Ice system is a clear block ice system. You don't have to say freezing because when you say ice, everyone knows it's frozen, right? Mm-hmm. A clear block ice system? Or what did you say?
A clear ice block freezing system?
A clear ice block freezing system?
A clear ice block freezing system.
A clear ice block freezing system.
Yeah.
So the Ghost Ice system is a clear block ice freezing system, or just a clear block ice system.
Clear ice block freezing system.
A clear ice block freezing system. I like that one. It is designed to fit inside a cooler, and it uses the technique of directional freezing, which insulates all the sides of a piece of ice and then freezes from the top down, pushes all of the impurities and gases to the bottom, and they freeze last, and so you get this nice clear piece of ice. They have made them thick enough that the water goes through this system, through these little holes down here, and you get clear ice. Now, usually when we do stuff like this, we test it for the first time, but this was actually a little bit finicky to figure out how to do properly, and so we did some testing. We froze 2 or 3 rounds of ice already. I can tell you it makes brilliantly clear blocks of ice. I already know that. There are some things to consider when thinking about using this system. The first and foremost is that it fits into a massive cooler, and so for home use, it's not that practical. You need a chest freezer that is going to fit this cooler. The other thing is that you have to get this particular cooler, which is called a party stacker from Coleman. It has these very thin profile sides here, which is really important because it's insulated, but it's not gonna have this big chunky side that's gonna make it hard to fit into that kind of medium-sized chest freezer. For home use, this thing isn't that practical. It is mainly made for professional bars, and for professional bars, it is a game-changing piece of equipment because it is going to cut down on your labor a lot, and it's going to make it so that you can freeze 48 pieces of ice really quickly. So the other drawback to something like this is that it's 300 bucks. Again, for the cocktail enthusiast at home, it's not so practical. For a bar, though, I mean, that's just an expense that's going to pay for itself over time. You're gonna cut down on labor, you save money, it pays for itself. So those are all the considerations, I think. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's, I think I went through everything. I just feel like there's a lot to consider here. I will say that I really like the construction of these things. They're really, really durable. I was afraid initially that when we pulled it out from the block of ice that it would rip these molds, but the silicone is really, really, really durable. So I don't know. We're gonna, the other drawback to this thing is for home use anyway, not for bar use, but for home use, you have to fit these in. So the way they fit in, I'll just show you now. The way they fit in is like so. Here, I don't know why I'm trying to do 2 at the same time. You fit them in like this. It's supposed to be kind of a snug fit like this. So you got to fit them in and then fill it up. So how do you fill it up if you don't have a sink? Most people in their apartments or homes don't have a sink that is deep enough and big enough to fit this thing to run water into it. The other thing that you have to take into consideration is that because it's a very snug fit, when you put it in, you're going to get these little wavy lines. And what you really need to do is you need to stretch the cooler out. So before we freeze this, you need to push on the sides like this until you hear cracking noises. I've already done it, and I really stretch these out. When you put them in, you're still gonna get some waviness. And so what you have to do is place them in after you've done all the cracking and everything. So you gotta pull them out like this when the mold is in there. And as you can see, we're like kind of working out the waves. Now, over time, this isn't going to be much of a problem because the more you freeze ice inside this cooler, if you allow the ice to freeze fully, then it will expand the cooler, and the cooler will kind of naturally just sort of fit into the right shape. But for the first few times, it's going to be a little bit of finagling to try and get these waves out. The other thing is that as the water freezes, the ice is going to expand and it is going to work them out. But you want to make sure that you work them out pretty much before you do it, because if you don't, we did do a test where we got some wavy ice. So you got to be kind of, hopefully you can just like pull it out, give it a little elbow grease, and make sure that they're not super wavy, and then the freezing process will take care of the rest of it. I don't know, I feel like I just said that twice. I just want to drive the point home, you guys. The time has come to fill the cooler. I'll be back in a moment. All right, so the considerations are considered and the hard work is done. Now we just have to wait. Ah, you guys thought that I was gonna wait 72 hours. I'm not gonna do that. We'll see you back here in 72 hours. I'm gonna go have a cup of coffee or something. Today is the moment of truth. We're gonna be pulling the ice out of the freezer and seeing if we get 48 clear blocks of ice. Honestly, when we normally do these types of videos, we tend to not do much testing on the product and we tend to do them for the very first time with you guys, but we did a little bit of testing on this product because it's just a little bit finicky to sort of figure out how to get all of your blocks to freeze the way that they freeze. And then also freezing such a massive block of ice takes a long time, right? Because they're sunk into a cooler. And so we tested it for like 48 hours and that wasn't quite enough. It has been in there for longer, a little bit longer than 48 hours. I'm hoping that we freeze them to the right amount. The thing is that the cavities are deep enough that you can actually make a 2.5-inch block or a 3-inch block. And I'm trying to make a 3-inch block because I just like those big pieces of ice. And so hopefully it has frozen enough. So the cool thing about this is that when there's liquid water still in the cooler, that liquid water will actually touch the ice and it will temper it so you get a clear block right out of the cavity and you don't have to wait for the frostiness, I guess, to go away. All right, so let's pull it out. Marius is gonna come with me to pull it out because it's too heavy for me to carry because I am a weakling. All right, teamwork makes the dream work, my friend. Oh, that's heavy. Man, that's heavy. The other thing that I realize here, Marius, is that it would be nice to have like a bus tub or something to pull these out on, because now I'm just gonna put it out here and it's gonna get messy, guys. That's all I'm saying. I see that we got like one weird, very expanded piece of ice right here. I don't think that's the normal. I think that's because I actually added more water in to get the biggest piece of ice that I could get out of this thing. And I think, I don't know, maybe it overflowed and it just kind of freeze that way. Or like as the ice expanded, it sort of pushed through the cavity. These things do look really clear from just like at first sight. What I'm worried about is I'm gonna rip this. Even though it's really tough and I haven't ripped it and we've done this 3 times before, we haven't been 100% successful because we've still been figuring out how to work this. I will say though that conditioning the cooler the way that I did actually took a lot of the waviness out of the ice. So I don't think that any waviness is gonna register on the blocks. It's a tiny bit wavy on a couple of them, but for the most part, as the ice expanded, it pushed the mold out and they're like perfect, I guess, rectangles, squares. Well, I guess there's squares on the top right here.
Cubes.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Yeah, so see water dripping out, so it doesn't.
Yeah, they didn't, but I think they froze enough. I mean, here's the thing. There's 2 different sizes that you can make, 2.5 and 3. And I want to make the 3 just because aesthetically for the glasses that we have, I want to get that 3, but I think you're probably going to have to leave it in for 72 hours to get 3. Yeah, so I don't know, but we're committed to this now, right? So we should just pull it out. Look at this. Look at that though. Look at this. Even this is like fully clear, dude. All right, we'll get rid of this. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. I mean, obviously to get the pieces of ice out, you just want to push down on these like so. Some of them froze all the way, some of them didn't. I think it's just the length of time. That's what we got to work on. See, like some of these are like frozen right here. There's pieces of ice. So what do you think? It's going to be clear?
Yeah, it looked like a couple of them were not, the ones that were overfilled. But
the ones that, yeah, but I think that's my fault though. We'll have to see.
Yeah, some user error.
I mean,
oh yeah, look at this.
Look at those, dude.
Almost not see them. But you can see they didn't freeze all the way through.
What do you mean? That's frozen all the way through.
Yeah, but look at the other ones over there.
What? That's frozen all the way through. They're frozen all the way through. Completely. They just didn't, some of them didn't freeze as
yeah, not all the way through.
They just didn't freeze as all the way down, not all the way through. all the way through. They're frozen all the way through. It's a piece of ice.
I guess it depends on our definition of through. For me, it was like down, all the way down, all the way through.
Yeah, some of them, I needed to leave it. Here you go. That is a perfect representation of the ice you're going to get. It's just a matter of length of time, though. You know, it's just length of time. It's my fault. I could have left it till tomorrow, but we're not shooting tomorrow, so I wanted to get this done today. But most of them did, and look at that clear ice, dude. I mean, that is super clear.
Do it again.
You know what? I need to put gloves on because I'm freezing my hands off.
Okay.
All right, you were saying?
I said
hold it up.
Hold it again, yeah, because you do it so quick that we can't see.
Okay, sorry. It's quick because it's cold.
No, again. Yeah. Super cool.
Got it?
Yeah.
So the great news about this is like, yes, it takes 72 hours to freeze these, but you have 48 blocks of ice, dude. I mean, that's pretty awesome, I gotta say. So the other cool thing here is that like, you see how it's kind of rough on that side? So I bought this little sheet of metal, and all you gotta do is you can just like rub this on the metal and just sort of shape the ice. You can just get rid of the weird kind of bevel. Very slippery. It's ice, but there it is. The Ghost Ice system, I love it. I think this is great. I'm glad to have it too, because this is fantastic. So using this product is going to take a little bit of trial and error. You just want to make sure that you don't freeze the water too fast. So you want to make sure that your freezer isn't super, 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 super low in temperature, because if so, the water's going to freeze too fast and you're going to get cloudiness. You want to try and dial it in to where the water is freezing at such a rate that it gives you a clear block of ice and it freezes right then. And that's just going to take a little bit of, getting used to. It took us a couple of times to really dial it in. But as you can see, like once we dialed it in pretty good. So I guess that's it for this review. I mean, kind of wrapped it up. I think it's a great product. I really love it. I think that, this is definitely a useful product for bars, and it's going to save a lot of labor and cost. The price tag is completely worth it. I don't know. Any last thoughts, Marius? Anything that strikes you?
No.
So if you want to check out the website, the links are in the video description. And yeah, I don't know. See you guys on another time.